Hello there, I'm Mark Wolf, and welcome to TerraFirmaCraft Hardrock version 4. Since we've got version 1.21 out, at least in beta of TerraFirmaCraft, and I did promise a version 4 playlist of Hardrock, I figured might as well jump into it now. We notice we're on the main screen at the moment because I'm going to be doing something a little different. In a decision I will no doubt regret in about 5 minutes, we're going to be playing on Hardcore. The goal is to make it 1 year. I will restart a couple times if I have to, so that we actually make it through the first few days. I have changed no mods, save, adding replay. Yes, there's a fork for the replay mod that works for 1.20 and 1.21, so even if I'm not recording, I will have a recording of my session. Be useful for having a hardcore world in case I do bite it off camera. Alright, so test world, I could actually delete that. So yes, the plan is we want to make it at least one, well, not at least, the goal is to make it 1 full year in hardcore. I don't like hardcore. Actually, this is going to be my first time playing hardcore. I don't like it because why would I invest so much time into something that gets deleted after you make one mistake? Yeah, it doesn't suit me very well, but it is a challenge. So, might as well. Hardcore Hardrock. No seed. It's going to be random. Not changing any of the rules. We're just jumping in. So because I'm doing a completely random seed, I have no idea where we're spawning or what to expect. Which means we may spawn in the middle of a badlands and have a hard time finding water and clay. Or we could spawn with a lion next to us. Which is why, well, I said I may have to restart a couple times.
2 hours later.
I didn't even see that come in. Okay, let's check the replay mod because I did not see that one shot. Okay, I got this partially figured out. So we can follow me as I go exploring. I found cephalerite. Trying to figure out the best way to get around this forest, which is here, and I decide to go that way. And dead. Never even saw it come out of the water from behind me. Well, that didn't work, so let's start from scratch once again. Hardcore. Hardcore Hardrock Take 2. Random seed. No changes to any of the rules. And let's see if we can make it more than 5 days this time. I had an entire 50-minute video recorded. Not even joking. And as you saw at the end, snake comes up out of nowhere, gets me from behind. That's the end of that. So, yeah, I wasn't going to make you sit through watching 50 minutes just for it to end with me literally dying, being unable to do anything. We'd actually made pretty decent progress too. We had quite a bit of copper on us. We had quite a lot of clay. Lots of fruits, lots of vegetables. Do beets give water? They do not. And you know, we are making good progress. Ooh, this is very lucky. There's clay right next to spawn. Just double check. Nothing's gonna come out and bite me while I'm not looking. Alright. So, we're gonna start over again. We need, because we're on Hardrock, because we're on Hardcore, we need a cook pot, like, immediately. So we can boil water so we don't dehydrate to death. So cook pot is that plus that. Put that in there. Might as well make a few vessels. We do want a jug so that we can have water on the go. If you look next to my food bar and my fluids bar, there's a skeleton skull there that is turning. Well, that has icicles hanging from it. That is my body temperature. It is dropping because we're cold. Our climate should be... Well, it's better than last time. I don't know why I'm cold when it's 18 degrees outside. But yeah, we're cold. Not freezing, not like last time, but we are cold, so we're going to have to see about improving that. But we're still going to want to travel further south. I didn't know this when I made my starter guide for Hardrock version 4, but you can right-click on grass to get plant fibers. You know, which is useful, because then you can make, well, you can make all this a lot easier. You don't need to make a knife just to get started. But we need to make a couple mats, and I'm going to bookmark my location right here, so I can find it again. We need to dry out string, which requires these drying mats. We're also going to need to dry out straw. We can find ourselves some grains. We can harvest that and get straw that way, because we need straw for our fire pit. So we can fire those clay pots. We also need to keep an eye out for either melons, pumpkins, or tomatoes, because those will give us water, which will help us survive a little bit better until we have a source of water that we can prepare.
20 minutes later.
And we're taking tick damage because we got dehydrated again. And it's damaging our legs. Makes us move slower. And that damaged our head. And we have the zombie virus. So, this round is over. There's no way I can get gold in time to survive. Oh, look at that. It does drop grapes. Oh well. Time for try 3. Zombie virus is fun. Well, third time's the charm, right? Hardcore, no seed, no game rule changes. Let's jump right in. Again. For the third time. I don't know how many times I'm going to end up re-recording this intro and my opening monologue about what we need to collect and what we need to do. I should probably do that now while it's loading, so I don't have to do it later. We need clay. We need enough clay that we can make a cook pot, some vessels, and a jug so that we can start boiling water to make it fresh so that we don't dehydrate to death. like we literally just did, so we don't have to worry about drinking unclean water and risking the zombie virus. Hey, we're in. Okay. We do not need any of these books. They are a waste of inventory. Let's look at our map. There is a skeleton that way. What's our climate? Our average temperature is high, so we actually want to head north. First game I played, we were so far north that the average temperature was in the negatives. Last time, the average temperature was just barely above negative, but it was pretty good. Now, we are pretty far south. And why do I still have icicles hanging from the skull if we're this far south? Does not make any sense. Do not run. We do not have the hydration to run. Ooh, I do like rosewood. There's sugarcane, which is absolutely useless to us right now. We need to keep an eye out for predators. There is watermelon. And get the seeds also. Good. We can cut this. Can we use a stone knife? We can use a flint knife. We can use a bone knife. Yes, okay. So we can cut this to get fruit that gives us water. I should look around here for more melons. That alone might save us. It looks like there's squash over here. Does squash provide water? No. Just veggies. Okay, so we've at least got food and we've got a water supply. We need to find clay. And I want to head north and want to make sure I avoid any nasties because we don't have the ability to survive that. There are onions over here. I'm not going to pick them up. I have limited inventory space. And with the melons and with the squash, I'm good for now. We can find other food sources later. I do want to keep an eye out for grape bushes because as we saw at the end of last run, we can break the grape bushes. They will drop grapes even if I can't harvest them. And those grapes do provide a little bit of water. And also, yeah, white grapes. So there we go. Are those raisins? Seeds. Okay. Very little water, but it's water at least. And darn it. Stepped on blackberry thorn bush. Taking damage that I can't afford to take. Potatoes. Again, I want them. I'm not going to take them. I don't have the inventory space. The grapes, like I said, water. And we can only eat one right now. So I'm going to keep exploring. I've said this 3 times. I don't know how many times it's actually stayed in the recording. We have replay. So if I'm not recording, I can show you what happened if something happens. Oh, I was going to say, we do want to keep an eye out for grains. Because then we can harvest the grains for straw. When we cut the oats here, we'll get oats and straw. And the straw we can, of course, use for fire pits. Ah, right. Hover over like items. So oats, press I, they stack. Very handy for saving inventory space. So there's a dead pig there. That means there's something around here that killed that pig. I have a feeling we're already in trouble because I am not finding clay. And without clay, we can't guarantee. Okay, I'll take that back. We found some clay. I was going to say I can't guarantee us fresh water. Alright, next we need to make a bunch of mats quickly, which is going to require a whole lot more string than I have. We need to make mats so we can lay out fibers so we can turn into straw. Or actually, if I can make a knife quickly. We need to find a hardened rock for that. There should be one right over here. Yep. It broke. Broke again. Knife. Good. Okay. Knife plus string gives us that. We can cut that. We get straw. And might as well cut the melon while we're at it, so we can get access to some of that water. And that will help us last a little bit longer. Figure out where I was digging right here. Straw. We need 8 straw. Alright. And then we need to go make a axe so we can chop down a tree. So we can get logs. And then we can start our pit kiln. Or fire pit. Or pit kiln. It's a pit kiln. There we go. We need to do that, let that dry. We need that. We need a stick. I don't think a twig works. Used to be able to turn twigs into sticks. I don't know if you still can. Ah, you need a knife to turn a twig into a stick now. And a creeper just snuck up on us. He didn't get us. But he did take out my drying mat and most of my straw. Nope. Okay, all my straw survived. But he did take out my drying mat, which means that I am going to have to wait even longer now in order to get my axe up and running. And we're already at the point where I'm going to have to drink dirty water. And I hear zombies now. Okay, so it's a water source over here. And there's pumpkins over here. Pumpkins with a hammer, I can't get to that water source. With a hammer, we can turn pumpkins into something that we can eat. So, actually, might want to grab these because it will give us water also, like watermelons. However, we run into the same problem I currently have where my hunger is full. It's my thirst that's decreasing. And you can't eat if your hunger is full, even if the food provides water. So, but if we break this down, we get 5% water from it, same as a watermelon. So let's play Russian roulette again with the water. More inaccessible water. My gosh, what's going on? Okay, we got lucky. Oh, we got nausea. I never turned off distortion effects. I'm gonna have to do that later. Okay, I'm gonna do that now. Much better. Alright. Plant string is ready. Got our axe head, our stick. Combine the 3. We now have a stone axe. We can chop down a tree. Got us logs, then we can start the fire pit. Need 8 logs for that. Then we can also put 1 log and 3 sticks there. Put the rest of those logs down. Get rid of that. Turn this into a fire starter. Then shift and hold right click on our kiln there. And then on that block there. There we go. Now we've got our fire pit. We've got our fireplace. Once our pit kiln is done, we can toss our cook pot on that and start boiling water. Oh wow, we are actually getting very lucky right now. I survived the first 2 drinks of water, and now we've got peaches. Peaches give 10% water per peach. That saves our life. We we don't have to drink any more unfiltered water or unboiled water. We just gotta wait the 7 minutes for this to be done. But we are actually in a very good place right now. Knock on wood. Now we just need to head north and find a location I like, because this is a little... Actually, 12 degrees is not too bad. It is subtropical. I would rather it be closer to 10. But, you know, water, you know, river, land, open land, I could see myself setting up over here. Haven't really found much in the way of resources yet. Not like I did in my first 2 tries. My first try, I had 2 stacks of copper by the time I got jumped by the snake. Second run made it all of 2 days, so, you know, no luck there. It's another peach tree. Yeah, no, I think we're gonna set up very close by. What is that? That's a skeleton underground. Okay. Yeah, maybe set up here. We'll go look at it in a few minutes. Okay. So now we have our cook pot. We can toss them there. We have our vessels, which are too hot to handle. Yep, can't even pick them up. Gotta let them cool off a little bit. There we go. I need the ceramic jug, though, so we can go grab some water. There's no easily accessible water near us right now. So what we have to do is we have to find the water source. Whoa, don't fall down holes. That's a quick way to die. And we have to bucket the water 1 jug at a time back over to our cook pot. And the jug only holds 100 millibuckets, which means we need to do 10 trips to fill up our cook pot. But we now have access to, well, we will in a minute, have access to boiled water, which we can drink without issue. Yeah, this is going to take a minute. But there we go. That's the that's the primary issue with survival. Your first few days is getting water, and we have water. Skeleton, spider, creeper. I am not happy with all the things spawning around us. because we can't really defend ourselves. So back in like old school TFC, I'm talking 1.7, you used to have surface spawning mobs, which made survival even more difficult than it is in Hardrock. And, well, back then, you could make straw blocks out of grass, and they were impassable. Nowadays, you can walk through straw blocks. So what you would do is you pretty much found a little hole in the ground, made a straw hut attached to the hole in the ground, and hid in there every night until it was daytime. So it does feel a little weird wandering around at nighttime still in TerraFirmaCraft on your first few days. Because I am still used to, you know, nighttime being much more deadly. Although I say that, I hear the skeleton over there. And if he takes a shot at us, if we're lucky, we could take 2 hits. And I almost feel bad doing this right now. The jug can only hold 100 millibuckets. So we have to do 10. Creeper. Oh, come on. So I'm starting to go insane because of my sanity being low. Get the fire going, stand close to it, get our sanity up a bit. Boy, we have to be close to this fire in order for our sanity to go up. And the graphics got weird. Okay, so we cannot... I don't think we can boil water with only... with less than a full bucket. We'll find out in a moment, though. We gotta find two stone. Yeah, no, we need a full bucket in there in order to boil the water to make boiled water. Did I mention I don't like horror games? And what it's doing to the graphics is really going to mess with the compression on the video, so... Sorry? I can't change that. But there we go. Now we have enough logs in there. We have 2 stones. We can boil this water, make ourselves fresh water, or at least boiled water. And, oh, please tell me I can use basalt. I can use basalt. Okay. And then we can keep exploring. There we go. It's boiling now. In just a moment, we'll have water we can drink. First, we gotta stand close to the fire to boost our sanity, and by standing close to the fire, we're getting hotter, which is using up more water. But as I was saying before we got interrupted by the sanity, we can only carry 100 millibuckets of water at a time in a jug, which means I'm boiling a bucket of water, and I'm going to drink whatever I can. I'm going to leave it up until we're ready to move on again, but when we pick it up, we waste all the water that's left in there. So it's not the best. I think my sanity's gone up enough I can wander over here a little bit, and that's loam. I want clay. Where's the clay? We need a bit more clay so we can make the large vessel, which can act as a backpack for us. And that we just do that with. And then we fire that like we did before. But I think this is done. This is done boiling. Alright. So we can drink that. That fills our thirst need. And yeah, so we've made it through the first major hurdle in Hardrock, and that is getting water. I'm not going to do what Skizzleman did and build a the Maslow's Pyramid of Needs, but it would be rather fitting for a TerraFirmaCraft Hardcore series, wouldn't it? Okay, and that will get us the large vessel, which gives us 9 more inventory slots. Makes our life a little bit easier, and then we can take these small vessels and start dumping food items and whatnot into them to free up inventory space and make our life a little more easier. I can make a hammer, but I don't need the hammer right now. I don't know if I want to bother with it too much. Okay, what do I need to do next? We're gonna leave that. We gotta wait for that. I saw more food items that we can collect. Aside from more fruit. But fruit has a short shelf life, so I almost don't want to pick them unless we need them. And now that we have access to boiled water, we don't need to worry about picking the peaches so much right now. I did see more melons, I thought. I saw more melons. I definitely saw more grain. Yes, there are more melons over there. Okay. That looks like an oil geyser. Okay, so our large vessel is done. Which is good. We can put that down. Shift, right-clicking it, opens and closes it. We can start tossing stuff in here. Like, I'm going to go collect a bunch more clay. We're going to make sure we have at least 3 stacks in there. Not, sorry, 3 stacks. At least 1 full stack. Then I'm going to head out. Talking about going over here. I might go over here. I'll look on both sides, see which location I like better. But then we're going to set up camp and get started on, well, trying to survive a full year in Hardrock. But that's going to be it for today. So I want to say thank you for joining me today. Hope you've had a wonderful day. Thank you to my channel members for your support. And I'll see you next time. Later.